Last night, police started arresting young people as this huge group began taking over the streets, setting off fireworks, and even dancing on top of squad cars.
Oh, man, they done locked up Sha'Carri, man. It's a bad week for Sha'Carri, man. First, she failed her drug test for the Olympics. Now she getting locked up for twerking on a car in Chicago.
Arresting young people as this huge group began taking over the streets, setting off fireworks, and even dancing on top of squad cars.
It was quite the scene out there, that is for sure. Elizabeth Matthews is live with the push to contain the crowds. Elizabeth?
Anthony and Tia, some of the chaos happened right here behind me near Wabash and Washington. Police tell us that over 100 people were out here flooding the streets and sidewalks. 2 officers were actually injured downtown in the Loop. Take a look at some of this video. A police spokesperson tells me that 61 people were arrested last night, most of them young adults and some minors, arrested for things like battery, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest.
If they arrested 61 people, that means there were probably about 400 people that they could have arrested. Because they never arrest. They're told not to arrest these people. They're told to just try to move them along. So you really have to be doing something really egregious. Because this messes up their crime totals. Things like this, they've been already told, like, look, yeah, they're trying to bring down murder and everything. I believe the police department is trying to do all that stuff. But they also try to, like, the chief is trying to bring down the crime numbers. And if you arrest as many people as should have been arrested at a big mob like this, that's just going to heighten your crime totals and raise up your crime numbers over something that just, like in a city like this where you had 90, almost 100 people shot over the 4th of July weekend. And almost 20 people killed in a weekend. Arresting these people here, as long as they're not like bashing somebody's head in or breaking windows out of a storefront or damaging somebody's car or damaging a police car. Even if they just throw a punch at somebody, even if they just write graffiti on somebody, even if they just, destroy some property, they're just going to let them go. So the 61 people that got arrested here really were doing something. What the hell were they doing?
That 61 people were arrested last night, most of them young adults and some minors, arrested for things like battery, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest. There are reports that the gatherings started as early as 6:30 Sunday night, and people were shooting off fireworks around that time. Police tell us those in the crowd were shooting bottle rockets at officers, jumping on police squad cars, and resisting orders to disperse. One officer was injured when he was hit with a bottle rocket near the ear. Another suffered an ankle injury during a scuffle with an offender.
I think it's a tough situation because I understand the need for for the police to be a little easier on.
Be very careful, man. We got your name up here. They put your name up here. Be very, very careful. You look like you probably retired, so they can't get you fired, or they can't harass your business associates and get them to stop doing business with you. But they can find out maybe they can find out your pension or Social Security, get that out. You don't be surprised. They can punish you. Be very careful what you say, white man. Be very, very careful.
I think it's a tough situation because I understand the need for for the police to be a little easier on certain people, and I also understand their standpoint. So I think a lot of these kids just don't know what to do, and they need some hope.
Decent. I saw some way when he said certain people, they could probably take certain people. What do you mean certain people? And then it'd be trending hashtag certain people. Hashtag certain people be trending on Twitter. And then anytime in the future anybody say certain people, black people can get mad. But he pretty much, I give him credit. I think he passed the test. I don't think he'll get doxxed. I think it could have been a little bit more bland and non-committal and unopinionated, but I give him a B minus for, right now, if you're a white person, don't say nothing about this stuff. Just shut up. Don't speak your mind. Just shut up. And just watch. And if you have something to say, work in the shadows. Don't ruin your reputation, your livelihood over expressing a comment that nobody's going to agree with. And other people who agree with you aren't going to support. Like, it'll be a bunch of people. If he got on here and said, man, this is crap, man. This is unacceptable, man. These people they know better. These people are teenagers. They know right from wrong. They shouldn't be coming down here destroying my neighborhood and robbing and assaulting people and damaging property and running just roughshod like a Mad Max, like a wild horde over my neighborhood. Something needs to be done about this. Even the people who agree with him are going to leave him out to dry. That's why I'm saying don't say nothing. Not because white people don't need to talk because they don't have a voice. Even the other white people not going to back you up. Even the black people in the neighborhood that are tired as hell of this crap. They gonna turn woke because you white person, you said it. So now they gonna turn wokey woke on you.
I think it's a tough situation because I understand the need for for the police to be a little easier on certain people, and I also understand their standpoint. So I think a lot of these kids just don't know what to do, and they need some hope.
CPD's holiday weekend safety plans will be in place throughout tonight, meaning there will be, quote, adequate staffing throughout the city of Chicago. Live in the loop, Elizabeth Matthews, Fox 32 News.
Tonight, movie screenings return to Chicago parks. It's been so long. The Park District is kicking off the 9th season of Night Out in the Parks. You're seeing video from that featuring theater, dance. They got lots of entertainment in parks across the city. The first screening of movies in the park begins tonight at 8:30 with Sonic the Hedgehog. That's like a fun Tuesday.
Look at that sea of people. Just look at that sea of people. Just look at that horde of people. There won't be one fight. This is Chicago, the same city. I wouldn't say there wouldn't be any arrests. There may be arrest or two. Somebody may get drunk or something. I don't know. Maybe an arrest or two. I'm just being because I know I've been around white guys when they get drunk and white girls. It's a different kind of drunk. So it affects them differently. Just like it affects every race differently. It affects Hispanics differently. It affects Asians differently. Every group is affected slightly differently. We all get drunk, but we just have our different nuances. Look at that crowd, though. Look at that one black girl right there at the bottom left. She looks so comfortable. She ain't worried about nothing. Do it really look Do it look like she's being, like, all the talk we hear about how white people, safe spaces for black, you think she would be curled up like that if this was a whole bunch of Sun people? Who thinks she would be curled up like that? Not a care in the world. Nobody here is worried about anything. Nothing's going to happen. It probably ain't nobody there packing. Because there's gun laws in Chicago and these are law-abiding citizens. Maybe a couple people got a concealed carry. Maybe. But the gun laws are so strict, these people don't carry. Trust me, I've lived in a city all my life with strict gun laws. These people ain't carrying, man. But that sister, and most of the time, it's sisters. They the main ones complaining about. They the main ones. White supremacy system. And this sister, she ain't got to worry about a stray bullet because we know every shooting in the black community, at least one sister gets shot. It ain't a shooting unless a sister get hit. And you don't believe me? Subscribe to the channel. It ain't a shooting. This sister just is cozy and comfortable. She the most comfortable person there. She's literally the most comfortable person there. And I guarantee you she wokely woke. I wish I could get this sister's Facebook page or her Twitter account. And we could go on her Facebook page or Twitter and look at her tweets and her posts. I guarantee you would think that white people were like, had fangs and claws and just a ravenous beast, blood dripping from their fangs. If you went to her Facebook, and black people were just innocent little victims that just never do anything wrong and are always just trying to do the best, but they just can't make it because they're always being oppressed. But then you see her right here, busted. She would not be like her hand would be on a swivel if this was a fight would already broke out. So it ain't even, I ain't even gonna say that. This many people, that many Sun people in one place, fight multiple fights, whatever, it wouldn't have got this far. It wouldn't have got this far. It wouldn't have gotten this far.
The Park District is kicking off the 9th season of Night Out in the Parks. You're seeing video from that featuring theater, dance. They got lots of entertainment in parks across the city. The first screening of movies in the park begins tonight at 8:30 with Sonic the Hedgehog. That's like a fun Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? It's a fun Tuesday thing to do at Oakdale Park in the Washington Heights community. You can find events near you on the Park District website.
We begin this hour 18 with chaos in the loop. Fireworks aimed at police officers and crowds. Police cruisers damaged. Illegal guns toted around in backpacks. That's how a downtown alderman describes the issues with massive crowds in the city this weekend. Our Tara Molina is live in the loop. And Tara, this is not the first time we've seen problems like these.
Oh, Tara. Damn, Tara. Oh, Tara again. Not the first time we've seen problems like these. Tara like, man, you don't know that.
Our Tara Molina is live in the loop. And Tara, this is not the first time we've seen problems like these.
Erica, no, unfortunately it's not. We've reported on these mass crowds and issues associated with them for years now, closely over the past couple of months. But looking back at the issues here in the Loop last night, the chaos that we saw break out here, Chicago police say they had it all under control.
All right, they're jumping on cars, they're jumping on the car, breaking the car.
This is what Chicago police consider having it under control. This is under control. Remember I told you earlier what you have to do to get arrested in these places, and you probably rolled your eyes. Coon, damn coon. What you have to do to get arrested down here, it has to be something extremely serious. Like, if you would, something you would do on a normal day that would get you arrested would not get you arrested down here. Okay? The jail is full of people who did these things that these people are doing. Jail is full all across the country. Jails are full of people like this. Some doing time. Some for things that people didn't get arrested for down here. So just remember, 61 people got arrested. What the hell did they do?
All right, they're jumping on cars. They're jumping on the car, breaking the car windows.
Cell phone videos of what the 4th of July looked like in downtown Chicago. Fireworks thrown near officers blocking off streets and working to control the crowds. Crowds of hundreds swarming streets in the Loop, twerking on Chicago police cruisers.
They're smashing out the squad car windows with that.
CPD wouldn't tell us how many of their cruisers were damaged.
We had a lot of reports of assault, battery, theft, and people just running wild and fighting in the street.
Told you. It's not just the twerking on the cars, the bashing out the windows. These people are assault people in those neighborhoods that live there, because people live in these neighborhoods. Tons of high-rise apartment buildings, houses in this neighborhood. People that just live there. And then this horde just comes down there. What do you think happens to those people that live there? Walking their dog or going to the store, just coming from work, or just, because most of them notice, lock their doors, shut their windows, and lay down in the bathtub.
We had a lot of reports of assault, battery, theft, and people just running wild and fighting in the street.
Superintendent David Brown said when he spoke out overnight, more than 60 people were arrested Sunday night. And that's not all, according to Alderman Brian Hopkins.
And a disturbingly high number of those arrests involved a teenager with a gun. We had guns in backpacks, we had guns in pockets, a large number of firearms present. We're really lucky no one was murdered in the Loop last night.
2 officers were injured while responding to these large groups.
Just look at this kid stepping on people's cars. These people are just parked on the street. And that kid in the orange is just running on their cars. These are the people that live in that neighborhood that just cars are just parked outside. Look at that kid in the orange at the top of the screen. Look what he's doing. He probably didn't get arrested. I bet this kid didn't get arrested.
We're really lucky no one was murdered in the Loop last night.
2 officers were injured while responding to these large groups, and what we're told were weaponized fireworks.
One of them probably has permanent hearing damage from a firework that was thrown at his head.
With CPD forced to enact a 10 p.m. curfew to clear out the crowds, they wouldn't tell me how many weapons they took off people arrested in those crowds, but posted this video to Twitter of their work this weekend, and responded to our questions about how they planned for and controlled these crowds with, quote, "The Chicago Police Department had sufficient resources deployed to manage the crowds and ensure public safety." This sufficient?
It wasn't enough.
But with departments working together, he calls the proactive and reactive city response better than what we've seen in the past year.
So the police did better than they were able to do in the past year. And of course that's because the defund the police thing is over. So they're getting their funds back. Because unanimously the country has rejected defund the police. So they're starting to get their funds back a little bit. And they're starting to, their presence is not, met with, you're here to kill black people. Like some white liberals screaming about how they're here to kill black people. Now it's white liberals in the house, in the corner on the phone, calling, get multiple units down here as fast as you can.
It wasn't enough.
But with departments working together, he calls the proactive and reactive city response better than what we've seen in the past year.
They weren't able to stop what happened last night, but they were able to contain it to some degree.
Didn't I tell you that in the video the other day about programs versus police? Programs don't do anything. Police, I mean, what can you really do? I mean, where are all these kids' parents? These are kids. Where are their parents at? There's really nothing you can do. But at least they can contain it. This would have been us all over the city. It would be a giant purge if it wasn't for the police. So that's why I say, if it comes down to police or programs, because yes, you're always going to pray. I mean, you have to pray. I mean, golly. But when it comes down to police or programs, I always say police, because programs can't. The violence interrupters come down here, they're going to get robbed, man. You imagine some violence interrupters coming down here trying to tell these kids this. Where are these kids' parents?
They weren't able to stop what happened last night, but they were able to contain it to some degree.
Now, still tonight, Chicago police have not addressed the alderman's claims, the alderman's description of the number of illegal guns taken off the street here, and they have denied sharing any kind of information on their deployment plan for months with us. But we do know tonight the 2 officers that were injured here in the Loop, they are expected to be okay. Erica?
So, Tara, what about the mayor? Is Mayor Lori Lightfoot saying anything about all of this?
Erica, of course, we reached out to her today for a response not only on the 2 officers injured, but what we saw break out here last night and the city equipment that was damaged during all of this. No response from her office quite yet.
All right, Tara Molina, thank you.